Outside the good news, a woman's body lay on the sidewalk. Vomit on her face, her neck, and her black hair on her blouse. Physical echoes of the retching sounds and the strange scream she let out before she fell. A small group of people circled. People from the courthouse in comfortable suits, a middle-aged jogger, sweating in her shorts, headphones still in. Everyday humans on an early summer morning in Middletown, Connecticut. Check her pulse. She just fainted. Hey, that's the Moroccan woman who works at the bank. I know her. Oh God, she okay? A server from the diner crouched down, checked her wrist. No pulse. Call 911. Smartphones dialing. Then the man appeared. He knelt beside her. That feeling came. The crackling pain, an overwhelm, a hunger beyond. He placed a hand on her forehead, then her neck. He closed his eyes and the feeling purged itself, a vast relief and exhaustion. She opened her eyes, gasped as he forced his body up and away from her. The crowd gathered, waiting for him to speak. Smartphones recording. I need to wash my hands, he said, and walked off. The people, shocked, unmoving, still recording. The miracle man entered Jerry's Donuts. A slim, wiry white man in his mid-50s stood behind the counter, all white, paper hat, wearing no expression. A pile of clothes with two dark brown hands and a face lay across the floor. The miracle man looked at the guy behind the counter who said, "He does this every time." He spoke with a Ukrainian accent. "I need to wash my hands. Bathroom for customers only. I'll take a coffee and a donut," the miracle man said as he headed to the bathroom. He washed his hands, looked in the mirror and saw himself. Dark hair, skin white folks might call Latino, black folks might call mixed, Hispanics might say, who knows, Italian? Nothing to look at, really, but not ugly either. Late 30s, early 40s, thin, just this side of sickly. He looked into his own eyes and saw other incarnations. Those familiar, those not, flashing through his memory. The man who sat under a tree until he became one. Another who died nailed to one. A 10-year-old girl walking through a field after she saved a village by burning it. A man in whaleskin, pushed off the edge of an iceberg, his blood mixing in with the white blue of the water. In that moment he could recall enough of each life to know this one felt much different. Some lack took residence inside him. He felt no warmth towards the woman on the ground, nor the man on the floor. No desire to heal. Only a compulsion which, discharged outside the good news, did not exist for the drug user. When he left the bathroom, he saw the crowd pressed against the window. The Ukrainian stood stock still. At the counter, in front of a donut and a cup of coffee, sat a black man in late middle age, wearing a faded business attire. "Don't worry, I locked the door. Take a seat. Take a bite of your donut." The miracle man sat, did as he was told, took a bite, a sip of the coffee, a dull bitterness and a cloying sweet. He swallowed. "You ready to do this?" Colson headed north on State Road 7 in the 2002 gray Chevy Malibu. Housing estates gave way to strip malls, pawn shops, and poorly maintained palm trees. With the windows down, he could feel the heavy summer air, could hear the squeal of his timing belt. He turned east into Golden Lakes, a too-sharp right that sent a couple files flying down from the passenger seat onto the floor. The apartment complex came into view, a Spanish tile and stucco job that probably looked nice when they built it back in 1971. As he pulled into the parking lot, he nearly collided with a woman in a last-century Ford. He parked in a visitor spot next to a Palm Beach County Sheriff car. He glanced at the mess of files, then in the rearview mirror. Then he saw her, walking alone. Tight t-shirt and short denim shorts, highlighting her dark brown skin, her perfect curves. Low battery warning. The video played on its own. Doug paused it at just the right wrong time, freezing the face, his own face, and that expression he hated. The one he associated with wannabe folk singers playing for an audience of none in the park or on the sidewalk next to Wesleyan. That melodramatic look, too much feeling and not enough talent. The type who'd one day try to look real, playing Baby Shark to a room of preschoolers. 20 million views and counting. He tried not to notice the negative comments, especially the ones he agreed with. Dougie Free. He hated the name. He hated the name the money people insisted on, but couldn't deny it sounded much better than the one given at birth. David Douglas Friedman. An overnight YouTube sensation, 12 years old and on his first tour. The bus stank like a bottle of vitamins, with a whiff of disinfectant, a too strong breath mint. The world rolled outside the window, gray, blue, and nothing new. Half his entourage of strangers asleep. The bass player, Ron, sat reading a book. Doug looked at the title, Incendiaries. He Googled it. Found a link for the book review. Then the screen went black.